In a majestic video of the Northern Lights filmed by astronauts aboard the International Space Station, strange flying objects appeared changing their path in space. In recent years, the UFO issue has been the subject of a wide debate as prejudices about the phenomenon are disappearing. What are they? In today's video, we'll discuss the terrifying unidentified military that has just been detected by International Space Station, ISS. But before we begin, subscribe to this channel and smash the bell icon to get tuned. Let's get started. The ISS is a research center located in Earth orbit, whose administration, management, and development are under the charge of international cooperation. The project operates as a manned space station, rotating teams of astronauts and researchers from the 5 participating space agencies: NASA, the Russian Federal Space Agency, FKA, the Japan Space Exploration Agency, JAXA, the Canadian Space Agency, CSA, and the European Space Agency, ESA. What was once considered a conspiracy is now publicly discussed among scientists, military personnel, and government agents. Unidentified flying objects are already beginning to be discussed like any other enigmatic topic. Just a few years ago, NASA claimed that it had no interest in UFOs, the acceptance of the UFO phenomenon. However, they recently opened a research department dedicated exclusively to the study of the phenomenon. Real scientists and astrophysicists at the forefront of this enterprise would probably have been branded crazy a decade ago. But things are drastically changing in the UFO world. Perhaps it is just a coincidence, but this openness of governments and scientists towards the UFO issue worsened in 2017. The year in which Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor detected by humanity, approached the solar system. It is one of the strangest objects that astronomers have seen near our cosmic neighborhood. Avi Loeb, the renowned Harvard astronomer, is one of the scientists who showed the greatest interest in this stellar object. He even published a book where he lays out many good reasons why Oumuamua could be extraterrestrial technology. The news shocked the community, but not as much as the recent revelations from the United States Congress about the UFO phenomenon. The increasingly frequent sightings have led lawmakers to tweak their definitions in conspicuous ways. Prominent among the most important conclusions from these debates is the assumption that UFOs may not be the work of human beings. That is, they would be objects with an extraterrestrial origin. Change in official position. The Pentagon has stopped hiding the enormous interest it has in UFOs. Recently, the Department of Defense of the United States reorganized the office dedicated to the study of the UFO phenomenon. In addition to changing its name, it included the study of the so-called transmedia UFOs in its objectives. It is evident that the government, scientists, and even the military drastically changed the way they perceive UFOs. Finally, they publicly accepted that there are unidentified flying objects in our airspace whose origin and purpose are unknown. Many of these objects display technological capabilities far beyond our civilization's advances. UFOs filmed from the International Space Station. Thus, the best way to understand the nature of these objects is by using a rigorous scientific method in their study. To that end, few things are more useful than the International Space Station. If you think about it, this is a gigantic laboratory hundreds of kilometers from the surface with dozens of cameras and a crew trained to study space. A camera installed on the International Space Station, which NASA manages jointly with specialized agencies from Europe, Canada, Russia, and Japan, managed to detect around 150 unidentified flying objects in Earth orbit. The photographs were taken on November 15. This is not the first time that scientists have captured images of loose parts flying toward the planet, but the latest sighting caught the attention of specialists due to a large number of UFOs observed. Many of them were even out of the field of view of the high-definition equipment. Video of the Northern Lights in August 2022. At first, the sequence was recorded over 20 seconds by the Russian astronaut Ivan Wagner, who first sighted the phenomenon in August and captured the 60-second sequence of images in November. The objects circulating in Earth's orbit are so many that they exceed the field of view of the camera. Although at first many users of social networks thought that they were lights from an urban center, experts determined that this was not possible. The Pentagon establishes a new UFO analysis office. The new office is under the responsibility of the Undersecretary of Defense in charge of intelligence and security. The Pentagon announced the creation of an office to collect and analyze all the information on unidentified flying objects, UFOs, observed by the different branches of the U.S. military. This Air Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, or AOIMSG, replaces the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Cell, created in August 2020 and later entrusted to the United States Navy, the Department of Defense announced in a statement Tuesday night. The fact that the new agency reports to the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security show that very real enemies of the U.S. rather than little green men are the source of unidentified aerial phenomena for U.S. forces. Washington is especially concerned about China's ability to spy using drones or other aerial methods. The AOIMSG's incoming director, who has not yet been chosen, will coordinate efforts here with those of the U.S. intelligence agencies. 3 videos of unidentified aerial phenomena encounters, one from November 2004 and the other 2 from January 2015, were released by the Pentagon last year. In one, a fast-moving elongated object can be seen that a few seconds after being detected by the sensors of the Navy aircraft, disappears after a sudden acceleration. In the other video, an object is visible above the clouds and the pilot wonders if it is a drone. UFO. Astronaut says that the ships recorded by the United States could be aliens and even time travelers. Tim Peake, a British astronaut, believes that there is no government or private company in the world with technology like that of the reported UFO. Tim Peake, one of the most renowned British astronauts, gave his point of view regarding the UFO phenomenon, so in vogue in recent times. He considers that the ships recorded by the United States could be aliens and even time travelers. Peake, who spent more than 6 months on the International Space Station as part of the European Space Agency, spoke on Good Morning Britain about the videos declassified by the Pentagon. The North American authorities announced that there are more than 400 sightings of unidentified flying objects since 2014, ignoring their origin. He said that he heard a theory where a pilot was talking about, potentially in the future, they developed time travel. Regarding one of the videos the Pentagon showed to the U.S. Congress, the British wondered if it was something that came back from the future. Peake thinks it is a development that affects every country and non-state entity, and he believes that everyone who watches the video will notice it fairly clearly. The things these machines are capable of appear amazing. Unknown aerial phenomena, or UAPs, have no clear explanation from a U.S. official. NASA is attempting to study the UFO phenomenon from a scientific perspective. A commission led by astronomer David Spergel and Daniel Evans, serving as advisors, joined NASA in the investigation of these Pentagon recordings. The work of this committee will start in the fall of next year, endure around 9 months, and not exceed $100,000. Giving a scientific explanation for the kind of equipment that the U.S. military forces have been recording is of interest. It might be a high-risk, high-impact type of research, according to Thomas Zurbuchen, Associate Administrator for Science at NASA headquarters in Washington. These unidentified flying objects will be seen as a threat to national security by U.S. authorities. Democratic Congressman Andrew Carson discussed it and claimed that for many years, the stigma attached to UAPs has prevented accurate intelligence analysis. The pilots either didn't want to report or made fun of them when they did. Department of Defense officials relegated the issue to the background or swept it under the rug, fearing a skeptical national security community. And now it is the turn to give a scientific reading on the UFO phenomenon. Sure, if it's possible to do it. At least astronaut Tim Peake has his doubts. Other unidentified flying objects. It is not the first time that scientists have come to capture images of loose parts flying toward the planet. Although this latest sighting drew the attention of specialists due to the large number of flying objects observed, last April, the Pentagon, headquarters of the Ministry of Defense of the United States, published several videos recorded in 2004 and 2015 by Navy pilots in which unidentified, or let's say unexplained phenomena are appreciated. These images generated millions of views on YouTube, although the authorities were quick to define the object of the ongoing investigations as possible military incursions into airspace, and they discarded the possibility that extraterrestrial ships exist. One of the materials, 75 seconds long, was recorded over the Pacific Ocean, about 100 miles from the North American west coast. 2 other documents were obtained with infrared sights, pointing to the sky that covers the Atlantic Ocean near the states of Virginia and Florida. This is by no means solid proof that beings from other planets visited Earth to see the beautiful northern lights, but it is certainly interesting to see how the images captured from the International Space Station could contribute to the scientific study of the UFO phenomenon. I hope you liked this video. If you did, kindly click the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to smash the bell icon to get notified. See you in the next video. Thanks.